It was a collaborative venture between myself, Imogen Harvey-Lewis, illustrator, and Alan Hughes, writer and lyricist. The subject of the exhibition and the project was grief and death and dying, and was very much conceived to be honest and raw and real.
The Day of the Dead exhibition came from Imogen Harvey-Lewis approaching myself and the band that I sing for and write for, Lensmen, with an idea of doing an exhibition around the lyrics from a set of music which we just started playing in public.
The music really resonated with me, and I just felt like, oh, there's something here that I could really work with and use as a kind of undercurrent for my drawing. The grit and the pith and the rawness of the lyrics just really kind of opened up the kind of floodgates for me as far as my desire for my drawing to be a much less kind of likeable and kind of nice subject matter, and just allow myself to just peel back the layers and just really try and capture what it is I'm feeling.
We as a society seem to be holding a phenomenal amount of grief, be it for lost childhoods, lost species, and a lost future in some regards, and an inability to visualise a future. So that's what I was writing about. That came from a personal and family breakdown about 7 years ago, and these words were part of languaging that process.
Very sadly, I lost my brother last year, my younger brother. So we both had our very own kind of take on our experience of grief, but it was not so much specific, it was more about the kind of humanity and the empathy, working and bouncing off each other creatively, just to see kind of what was illuminated, what would come out.
So what I wanted to do was bring into the culture language of grief, the language of grief, a way to language grief in an open way, in a celebratory way. It's an immersion into death and dying. And I hope that people can feel a little more at home with these subjects, because they're subjects that we all share.
Yeah, the drawings for myself were just very much a personal take on what I just really kind of felt and deeply felt from them, what Al was trying to put over. The drawings not necessarily designed to be liked, they are very personal, but at the same time they have a universality to them. I draw figures, and I draw figures kind of capturing in the nuances of their body language. I often use words just to kind of emphasise a particular kind of feeling I'm trying to put over. So they're not specific illustrations to the lyrics, but they are my kind of having read the lyrics and really listened to the music and kind of absorbed the overall kind of themes and ideas as kind of what it is that really is kind of really salient.
In our society, in our very isolated consumerist society, is that collaboration and cooperation are where real magic can happen, in the sense of a collaboration, the result of a collaboration can be so much more than the parts of its collaborators, which has instilled me with great hope for the future.
The launch exhibition at the Roses Theatre in Tewkesbury really went well. It really confirmed that our kind of all of our inputs just did really work together. The artwork, unframed, very kind of raw and immediate, plenty of images. The Lensmen did a bespoke set which was beautiful. That Alan did some beautiful poetry that segued between each track, and the whole thing just hung really well. I did a number of time-lapse pieces which we projected over the band, and the whole thing just took on a whole form, a three-dimensionality that we'd not necessarily conceived, but just took on its own kind of energy, and that's something that we really look forward to kind of rolling onto different venues and responding to those venues and just keeping it fluid, keeping it as a movable feast.
The pathological adolescence in our society creates a death phobia. that we are death phobic. We're scared of dying. And because we're scared of dying, we don't feel grief sufficiently or express it sufficiently. Because if we're scared of dying, which is inevitable, we can be controlled through fear. And being controlled through fear will always stop us being truly free. In another time before, there were 7 days. 7 days of his readiness that flew unseen from his New York time home across our ocean, giving us a song to fill our room. 7 days before he left. 7 days till a black star rose and the thin white night left us here for the ancestors.